Hi, English learners. Welcome to English Unlock the Oral Mastery. Think of this as your daily dose of inspiration, where learning English feels like a breeze and improving your life feels like home. I am Daniel.
And I am Jenny. Welcome to our latest deep dive.
So, have you ever watched a movie in English or, listened to two native speakers talking in a coffee shop and just thought, like, how do they talk so fast?
Yeah, right? Like, do they even breathe?
Exactly. It
Yeah.
feels totally impossible to catch up. You might even think that the only way to sound fluent is to speak at like 100 miles per hour.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that is basically the ultimate English myth. People really believe that speed equals fluency.
Right. They think if I just push the words out faster, I'll finally sound like a native speaker.
Yeah, but we have curated a fantastic set of instructional notes today well, to completely debunk that myth. Because fluency is not about speed, it's about flow.
I really, really love that word, flow. It just it takes all the pressure off.
It really does.
Because sounding relaxed and confident is so much better than sounding rushed or stressed out. So, to help you understand this, we're going to use a single image today. I want you to imagine a river.
A river is like the absolute perfect analogy for speaking English. I mean, think about how water moves in nature. A river isn't always rushing down a mountain, right?
Right, sometimes it's very slow.
Exactly. Sometimes it moves very slowly through a flat valley. But even when it is slow, it moves smoothly and never feels choppy or broken.
That is such a great visual. Like when a river meets a rock in the water, it doesn't just stop.
No, of course not.
It doesn't like hit the rock, pause, and wait to figure out what to do next. The
Yeah.
water simply glides around the obstacle and just keeps moving forward.
Yeah, and that continuous, smooth movement, that is exactly what we want for your spoken English.
Just gliding around the rocks.
Right. When you focus on flow instead of speed, everything about your speaking changes. I mean, your breathing relaxes. You feel way less anxiety.
You can actually enjoy the conversation.
Yes, instead of feeling like you are taking a test every single time you open your mouth.
So let's figure out how to physically do this.
Hmm.
If we want our English to glide like water, we have to look at what is, blocking the stream.
We have to find those rocks.
Exactly. And a lot of learners start out with what we call the robot voice.
Oh, the robot voice. We all know it.
Yeah, it sounds very stiff, mechanical, and heavy. So how do we smooth out those sharp rocks in the riverbed?
Well, we do it by using contractions. The robot voice usually happens because we learn English from a textbook.
Right, which makes sense.
It does. Textbooks are wonderful for learning the foundation of grammar, but, they teach you to speak in a very formal, separate way. A textbook tells you to say, I do not like cold weather.
Okay, I want to playfully push back on this for a second because I know exactly what our listeners are thinking right now.
What are they thinking?
They're thinking, wait, the textbook is correct.
Yeah.
If I write, I do not like cold weather on a test, I get an A+. So why shouldn't I speak the way the textbook teaches me?
And look, you are absolutely right that it is grammatically perfect. If you are writing like a formal business contract, you definitely use those separate words.
Right, you write it all out.
But spoken English is a physical activity, and native speakers are, physically speaking, very lazy.
We are so lazy.
So lazy. We want to do the least amount of work possible with our mouths. So instead of saying, I do not like it, a native speaker will just say, I don't like it.
Let's actually look at the physical mechanism of that because it's fascinating. If I say I do not, I have to like physically open my mouth, stop my breath entirely, and then open my mouth again.
Exactly. Do not.
Do not. It takes extra energy.
Yeah.
But when I say I don't, my tongue just lightly taps the top of my mouth and the breath it keeps flowing.
Yeah, the air doesn't stop. Contractions are simply the erosion of those sharp rocks in your river. I mean, over hundreds of years, native speakers naturally wore down the sharp edges of words so the air could flow over them more easily.
So becomes it's.
Right. And becomes we're. They are becomes there.
It's so much softer. When you listen to someone say, I do not know where they
Okay.
All right. I mean, it sounds like a computer from an old science fiction movie.
It really does. It's so robotic.
But softening those words is an instant upgrade. You don't even have to learn any new vocabulary to sound better today. You just have to let the words, like, melt together.
So, contractions smooth out the sharp rocks of individual words. But we have to look at the bigger picture here.
I get the bigger picture.
Yeah, because if you smooth out your words, but you still stop speaking every 3 seconds, well, you don't really have a river.
What do you have?
You have a bunch of disconnected puddles of water.
Oh, puddles. That is a brilliant way to picture the next problem. I hear this a lot with beginners, actually.
The puddles.
Yeah, they speak in very short, completely separate sentences. It sounds like stop and go traffic.
Yes, we call that the choppy sound. It sounds basically like this. I like coffee. I like tea. I am tired.
I like coffee. I like tea. I am tired. I mean, those are three perfectly correct sentences, right?
Grammatically perfect.
But together, they sound completely disconnected.
Yeah.
It really is like looking at three separate puddles of water on the ground. There is no continuous current moving between them.
So to carve a real river, we need to connect those puddles. We need to create a continuous channel for the water to flow through. And we do this using connecting words.
Right.
Very simple words, like and, but, so, and because.
Now, most of our listeners already know the definitions of these words. I mean, they know what because means.
Sure, it's basic vocabulary.
But what we are really talking about is how these words function physically and psychologically in a real conversation, right?
Yes, absolutely. Let's look at a specific example from our notes to show how this actually works in practice. Listen to this little story.
I wanted to go out, but it started to rain, so I stayed home because I'm lazy.
Let me say that again just to feel the breath in my body. I wanted to go out, but it started to rain, so I stayed home because I'm lazy.
Wow.
Did you notice your breath?
Yeah, I can say that entire sentence on one single exhale.
Yeah.
My breath literally never stops.
And that continuous exhale is the secret. Instead of 4 short, choppy sentences, 4 separate puddles, we carved a channel.
A single river.
Right. I wanted to go out is your first stream of water. Then the word but changes the direction of the stream, but it started to rain.
Then the word so pushes the water forward into the next action. So I stayed home.
And finally, the word because gives the reason without stopping the flow, because I'm lazy.
It's just so smooth.
It is. And psychologically, this does something very, very important to the person listening to you.
Oh, like what?
Well, if you speak in short sentences and pause after each one, the listener thinks you are finished talking. They might try to interrupt you.
Oh, wow. That is a huge point. Let me think about that. If I say, I wanted to go out, and then I just pause.
Right. The other person might jump in and say, oh, where are you going?
And I lose my chance to finish my story. I lose control of the conversation.
Exactly. But if you use the word but, it signals to their brain that your river is still flowing. It holds their attention.
So you basically hold the conversational floor.
You do. Connecting words let you keep control of the conversation because your river never dries up.
Okay, but this brings up a massive fear that almost every English learner has. And I want to ask you about this directly.
Okay, go for it.
We know we need to connect our ideas. We want to hold the floor. But what happens when my brain just completely freezes?
The freeze.
Yeah, I am searching for my next word. I can't find it. And there's just a big, scary silence.
That big, scary silence is universal. You are talking, you're flowing nicely, and suddenly, poof, you forget the vocabulary word. The water just stops.
It's terrifying. You feel so nervous and you feel like everyone is just staring at you, waiting for you to finish your sentence.
It really is the worst feeling. You just want to become invisible.
You do. So how do we handle that? If we cannot find the right word immediately, how do we keep the flow alive without looking panicked?
This is our third secret. You need to create an eddy in your river.
An eddy.
Yeah, an eddy is a place in the water where the river swirls around in a little circle.
Oh, I see. So it's not stopping.
Right. The water is still moving, it is still active, but it stays in one place for a moment before rushing forward again. We do this in English by using filler words.
Filler words, you mean words like, well, actually? or
Let me see.
yes, exactly. They are also known as thinking words.
Okay, I have to stop you there because I remember a very strict English teacher telling me the exact opposite of this.
Really? What did they say?
They told me never say well. It makes you sound unprepared. It makes you sound like you don't know what you were doing.
And honestly, that teacher was absolutely correct for a formal presentation.
Oh, a formal presentation.
Yeah, I mean, if you are standing on a stage giving a speech to 1,000 people or taking a strict academic speaking test, you should definitely avoid filler words. You want to sound perfectly rehearsed.
Right. Formal rules are completely different. But we are talking about real life English here. A cozy chat in a cafe, a phone call with a friend. In casual human conversations, filler words are not just acceptable, they are highly natural.
Native speakers use them constantly. I mean, we are using them right now.
We are, all the time.
Why, though? Why does making it sound like well actually help our fluency?
Because of the psychological signal it sends to the listener. Look, if you forget a word, stop talking and just stare into space, the silence is very, very awkward.
Very awkward.
But if you say, well, let me see. It fills that empty space with sound. It shows the listener that your brain is actively searching.
It is like a polite warning sign. It tells the other person, please be patient. My river is still moving. I am just swirling in a little circle right now while I find the right word.
That is the perfect way to look at it. It buys you time.
Wow.
And here is a really fascinating psychological trick. Using these words correctly can actually make you sound much smarter and more native.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I would think hesitation makes you sound less confident. How does a filler word make you sound smart?
Let's take the word actually. Imagine someone asks you if you like pizza. You could just give the direct answer and say, no, I prefer pasta.
No, I prefer pasta. Yeah, it is correct, but a bit blunt.
Very blunt. Now add the filler word, actually, I prefer pasta.
Actually, I prefer pasta.
Wow, you are right. It changes the entire tone.
It does, doesn't it?
It sounds thoughtful. It sounds like I am considering their question deeply before I answer.
It softens the statement entirely. It gives you a second to remember the word prefer, and it fills the space beautifully. You are allowed to think while you speak.
That is so liberating to hear. I mean, it takes a huge weight off my shoulders. It makes me realize that perfect English is not required for a natural conversation.
Exactly. You do not have to be a machine that never pauses.
You just need tools to keep the water moving.
Never be afraid of well, and actually, they're your best friends when you need to buy a few seconds of time. Okay, so let's recap where we are. We have smoothed out the sharp rocks with contractions. We have connected our puddles into a stream using connecting words. And we know how to buy time with filler words when we hit a slow patch. We have built the structure of our river.
Yes. Now it is time to look at the surface of the water. We need to talk about how this flowing river actually sounds to the ear. We are moving to the music of English.
The music of English. I'm guessing this means rhythm. But how does that actually work in a normal conversation? I mean, I do not want to sound like I am reciting a poem or singing a song.
Right, of course not. But every language has its own unique music. In some languages, every single syllable is spoken with the exact same power. They're very flat, steady, and equal. But English is entirely different.
How so?
English is a stress-timed language. We do not give equal power to every word.
Oh, I see. We only give power to the important words.
Yes. The message words, the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives, the words that carry the actual meaning get the power. They're spoken louder and slightly longer.
And the smaller words.
The smaller grammar words shrink down and become very quiet.
A beginner often doesn't know this, though, so they try to give everything equal power.
Which is completely natural when you're reading from a page.
Let me do a little role play here to
Mhm.
show what happens when we do that. I am going to attempt to speak with equal power on every single syllable. Ready?
I am ready. Give us your best heavy robot voice.
I am happy to see you.
Oh my goodness. It is so exhausting just listening to that. I am happy to see you. Every word feels like a heavy brick dropping on the floor.
It feels terrible in my mouth. It takes so much physical energy to speak like that. I actually have to hold my breath slightly between each word to make it sound that separate.
That is because you are fighting the natural rhythm of the language. Now let's hear the smooth, flowing version. Listen to where the power goes. I'm happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you. Whew, I can hear it. You stressed happy and see.
I'm happy to see you. The other words, I'm and to and Jew, they just shrink down. They fit in between the heavy beats.
Let's talk about how those smaller words shrink down, because there is a physical mechanism happening here.
Yeah.
It is not just about volume, is it?
No, it's not. You are touching on one of the biggest secrets in spoken English, the schwa sound.
The schwa sound.
Yes, the schwa is a very lazy, relaxed sound. When native speakers say the word to, they rarely pronounce it clearly with an oo sound.
Right, they don't say, happy to see you.
No, they say happy to see you.
To. It is incredibly lazy. Happy to see you.
That laziness is the secret to the speed. Remember at the very beginning of our deep dive when you asked how native speakers talk so fast?
Yeah, I thought they were just rushing.
They are not actually moving their mouths faster. They are just being lazy with the unimportant words.
That is an incredible aha moment. They are not athletes sprinting through a sentence. They're just taking shortcuts.
Exactly. And the ultimate shortcut is our final phonetic tool, linking. In spoken English, words should not just be near each other. They should physically connect.
What is the physical mechanism of linking? Like, how do words actually connect in the mouth?
It usually happens when a word ends with a consonant sound and the next word begins with a vowel sound. Instead of stopping, your tongue takes the consonant from the first word and slides it directly onto the vowel of the second word.
Let's use an example from our notes to make this concrete. The phrase, pick it up.
Perfect example. If you read it on a page, it is 3 separate words, P-I-C-K-I-T-U-P. But if you try to say, pick it up, you are creating those sharp rocks again. You have to stop your breath 3 times.
So how does a native speaker link it?
We slide the consonant over. The K sound at the end of pick jumps over to the I in it. So it sounds like pike it.
I like it.
Okay? Then the T sound in it jumps over to the U in up. So it becomes pakita.
Pick it up.
Mm.
Wow. It genuinely sounds like one single brand new word, pick it up.
Let's try another one. An apple. 2 words. If you do not link them, you say an apple. You have to stop your air entirely.
But if I use linking, I take the N from an and push it onto the A of apple. So I do not say an apple. I say an apple.
An apple. The words flow like a single stream of water. Your mouth does not have to stop moving. It is easy on the jaw, it saves your breath, and it is beautifully smooth for the listener's ear to hear.
This changes everything, honestly. When learners try to speak fast without linking, they stumble. They trip over the words because they are trying to say every letter perfectly.
But if you use the schwa sound, and if you physically link your consonants to your vowels, the speed happens naturally without any extra effort at all.
You simply let the river do the work for you. You don't have to push the water, just let it glide.
We have covered incredible ground today.
We really have. We know how to drop the robot voice with contractions. We know how to build a continuous channel with connecting words. We have learned how to swirl in an eddy with filler words.
Yes, and we have uncovered the physical secrets of the schwa sound and linking to create the music of English.
You now have the complete formula for flow. But I have one final question before we wrap up.
Sure, what is it?
We have built this beautiful river. We're flowing nicely, linking our words, holding the floor. But what happens when we make a mistake? Because we are learning. Slips in grammar are going to happen.
They absolutely will. And this is where we bring our analogy home. Think back to the river. What happens when a river hits a sudden, unexpected rock? Does the whole river crash, dry up, and apologize?
No. A river does not stop. It just washes right over the rock.
Exactly. Let's say you are telling a wonderful story and you make a grammar slip. Maybe you say, yesterday he go to the store instead of saying he went to the store.
He go instead of he went. A very common slip. I know learners who would panic instantly.
Yes.
They would freeze, turn red in the face, hold their hands up and say,
Hey.
oh, sorry, My grammar is bad. I mean, he went.
And by apologizing and stopping, they completely break the flow. They stop the river entirely.
Sure.
The secret to handling a mistake is incredibly simple. Do not stop. Keep going.
Wait, really? So we just ignore it. We don't try to fix the grammar.
You ignore the small rock and keep flowing. Keep finishing your story. The person listening to you is interested in your ideas, your feelings, and your story. They are not grading a grammar test.
That is a powerful reminder. We get so trapped inside our own heads trying to be perfect machines that we forget the purpose of language entirely.
Right, we are just human beings trying to share a message.
This brings us to the ultimate golden rule of everything we have talked about today, doesn't it?
It does. Confidence is 90% of fluency. Let me repeat that. Confidence is 90% of fluency.
90%. So perfectly memorized vocabulary and perfect grammar rules only make up the last 10%.
Yes. The grammar is a helpful tool, but confidence actually changes the way people hear you. If you smile and if you maintain a steady, relaxed flow, small grammar slips become practically invisible to the native ear.
Invisible. Because the listener is enjoying the beautiful rhythm of your stressed words, they are caught up in the continuous stream of your connected sentences, and they feel the relaxed, friendly energy of your filler words.
Exactly. They do not even notice the tiny pebbles in the water. A confident smile and a steady flow will make you sound incredibly fluent, regardless of a few tiny mistakes.
This has been such an eye-opening journey through the mechanics and the psychology of spoken English. To all of you listening right now, we want to challenge you to put this into practice.
Yes. Which tip will you physically try today?
Will you try to save your breath by using contractions like I don't and I'm?
Or maybe you will practice creating an eddy by starting your next answer with actually.
Or maybe you will try to push a consonant into a vowel and make your words flow together, like pick it up or an apple.
Whatever technique you choose, we want to hear about how it feels. Please share your journey to oral mastery in the comments. We genuinely love reading about the moments when things finally click for you.
Your progress inspires us just as much as we hope to inspire you. But before we sign off, we want to leave you with one final lingering question to think about on your own.
We have talked entirely about the river today. We know the river keeps flowing regardless of the rocks. We know that the water finds a way around every obstacle.
So if confidence is 90% of fluency and the river keeps flowing regardless of the rocks in its path, could it be that the only thing truly holding you back isn't your lack of vocabulary, but simply your fear of pausing?
Think about that the next time you open your mouth to speak.
Keep flowing.
Keep flowing.